Now here's one of my favorites, Rocco Infelice and his beautiful wife Doodles. Rocco, as we all know, was convicted in the Good Ship Lollipop trial. And shortly after that, the government went after his wife. They tried to go after Doodles' house, her businesses, some of her jewelry, but she hired the best attorney she could afford, and she fought to keep all her prized possessions. Now here's a great photo of the late boss of the Chicago outfit, Joe Ferriola. This is taken at the Stardust Hotel, which was owned and operated by the Chicago outfit. You ask any local Las Vegas resident, and every one of them will tell you they loved Las Vegas when it was ran by the mob. Sitting next to Joe Ferriola is a beautiful wife, and then you got Lefty Rosenthal. On the other side, you got a Chicago heavyweight, Michael Splatro, and his wife. Now here we got Momo, Sam Giancana, boss of the Chicago outfit back in the glory days. We know he wasn't a faithful husband. This guy was definitely a ladies' man. He slept with women like Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, the McGuire sisters, and several others. He was trying to be a playboy like his good friend Jack Kennedy, but definitely not as handsome. But he's probably more powerful than the president at the time. The beautiful Marilyn Monroe. We all know she hooked up with a lot of wise guys, from Momo Giancana, Marlon Brando, Sinatra, Dean Martin, the Kennedys. And Joe DiMaggio warned her, quit hanging out with all these wise guys. It ended up her being her demise, where eventually, allegedly, Frankie Schweich and Tony Spilotro ended up killing her in Beverly Hills. How'd you like to go on a double date with these four? On the left, you got my dad's good friend from the Marine Corps, Korean War veteran, one of the toughest Marines ever, Jimmy Torello. I don't think he was much of a ladies' man, but there's his beautiful wife with the puss on his face, with the cigarette. And then on the right, you got Tony Spilotro having a nice dinner and a few drinks with his beautiful wife. And as we all know, Tony was definitely a ladies' man. There's one of the most powerful men in the United States, if not the world, back in the day. You could see Tony Accardo and his beautiful wife there. They're not too happy getting their picture taken. You could see the surprised look on their face. Mr. Accardo was definitely a gentleman, not a ladies' man, and was faithful to his wife and a dedicated father and husband. Going back to Casino, you got Lefty Rosenthal and his beautiful wife, Jerry McGee. He was an associate Chicago outfit and probably the number one bookmaker in the country at the time. We also found out later that he was an informant. There was an attempt assassination on his life with the car bombing. And then his wife really fucked up by having an affair with Tony Spilotro. She could have got everybody killed. Now here's a nice photo taken at a black tie event. You got Lefty Rosenthal there with the Spilotro brothers. You got Michael Spilotro with his beautiful wife. And then you got Tony Spilotro with his beautiful wife, Nancy. And Michael's wife testified that the day they went missing, her husband gave her all of his jewelry in a plastic bag and said, if we're not home by 9 o'clock tonight, something is seriously wrong. And poor Tony's wife, Nancy, she had to deal with him cheating on her over the years. First trial I ever went to was the Gus Alex trial. I'll never forget it. I did a show about this earlier. I'll never forget seeing his beautiful model, Swedish girlfriend, sitting front row supporting him every day. Gussie definitely underestimated the prosecution. He felt no jury in the world would ever believe a lowlife like Lenny Patrick. But when he was found guilty, the judge agreed with the prosecutor, took him into custody. He felt it was a flight risk because of his wealth and power, and he pulled out $5,000 to give to his girlfriend. Now here's a father and daughter duo. You got Frankie Schweich, Hitler, German, one of the most prolific hitmen in the Chicago outfit. This guy was so feared, even mob guys were scared of this guy. He allegedly killed his Greek girlfriend and dumped her in the Chicago River. Then you got his beautiful daughter, Nora. I met Nora at Richards, and Nora used to tell me that his favorite dog was the German Shepherd, so she named her wine the German. Now here's Joey Aiuppa. There's a nice photo taken with two babes back in the day. There was a lot of talk about him at the family secret trial. This guy ruled the outfit with an iron fist. And according to Nick Calabrese, right before he went to jail, he told Angelo Lapetri and Wings, I want them both knocked down, meaning the Spilatros, 1 and 2. I don't care how you do it, just do it. Shortly after that, the hit was carried out. Now here's a beautiful Mama Luke Leah from Taylor Street. I've seen her at Rosebud a few times. I drink with her at Richard's Bar. I remember seeing her dancing her ass off at the Taylor Street Festival a few years ago. Her late father just passed away. He was an associate of the Chicago outfit. And I remember when I used to meet with Mikey Switek, he would tell us a lot of funny stories about her dad, some of the scores they did, and give us an update on his health. Now, some of these neighborhood girls, if you're not part of the clique, they're surrounded by an army, so they're almost unapproachable. But I met her one night at Richard's Bar, Christina Scaleri, and she was really cool. She actually sat on my friend's lap, who's a retired Chicago policeman, and she told us, her dad's not a murderer, he's just a burglar. She's a beautiful mother. Last time I seen her was at the Taylor Street Fest, and I'm always crushing on her. Hopefully I could take her out one night. Now here's Renee Feccarata. I believe she's the niece of John Feccarata. I've never seen her out in any restaurants, bars, or nightclubs yet, but I did go to her eye shop. She's an eye doctor on Division in Bucktown, and she's even more beautiful in person. And her uncle, legendary Chicago outfit, John Feccarata, talked about a lot at the Family Secrets trial. He was the wheelman in the Danny Seifert hit. He also took part in the Spilatro beatdown. Here's Harry Elliman. Beautiful photo here with his wife. You can see how much they love each other. Harry was a family man, not a womanizer, not somebody out at the clubs trying to pick up bitches. He loved his wife. He loved his children. And during his trial at the 26th and California building, his wife and son and daughter, they showed him all the love and support. Harry was nephew to Joe Ferriola, and Nicky Ferriola would visit Harry in the can. Now here's everybody's favorite, the clown, a handsome Joey Lombardo, and his beautiful wife. She looks like a movie star. One of my friends in the Grand Avenue neighborhood, he said, back then, the Grand Avenue neighborhood was so strong that the guys in Hollywood had nothing on the Grand Avenue crew. Joey, at the Family Secrets trial, was on the stand saying that, yeah, he threatened to strangle his wife all the time, but he never did. The whole courtroom busted out laughing. Now, if you're casting a movie looking for a female mob boss, look no further. You got Betty Lauren Maltese. She looks and acts the part and lives the part. She would come to court every day in Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Hugo Boss. Betty and a mob boss and his son stole $12 million from the town of Cicero while she was president. The mob boss went to his boss to get her killed. He didn't want to do it, though, because he goes way back with her late husband. She blamed all her problems on her dead husband. Now, it was funny when during the Family Secrets trial, Joey Lombardo got to call, character witnesses. These are witnesses that get up there and say great things about you. Like one kid said, Joey was the godfather of the neighborhood. Johnny Lira got up there and said Joey would hook everybody up with jobs if they needed jobs. They even called Joey's mistress, who aged at this point, and said what a wonderful lover Joey used to be. Everybody laughed. Now, I felt sorry for little Jimmy, to be honest, man. Here's Michael's Magic Touch. This was an outfit-controlled bar in the south side of Chicago that they leveled. And he met a beautiful, hot bartender there. She became his goomba, his lover. This bitch got on the stand and testified he gave her over $5,000 a month, took her on all these vacations, even paid for her retarded kids' medical bills. And he told her to keep her mouth shut. Now, at the Sarno trial, they had him on bombing a company in Berwyn along with an outlaw motorcycle gang, which was a very serious charge. And the judge was real lenient towards Mike in the beginning. He allowed him out on bond. He allowed Large and his family to go to Joe's steakhouse for dinner. But at the end, when he took him into custody, Large's daughter yelled out, "It's going to be a great Christmas now," as she stormed out. Now, another defendant at the Mike Sarno trial, we'll call him the man in black or the Polish guy. He came to court every day dressed in black with a cane. There's his wife. who happens to be Rocky LaMantia's sister. His beautiful daughter had married little Frankie Caruso. So there's that nice bond there. But I thought the evidence against him was pretty weak. All he did was go around and collect money, never showing any violence at all. Now, I remember I went to the Larry Hoover trial. He was running one of the largest gangs in the country from a prison cell in Vienna. And one of the defendants was a beautiful black female cop, Sonia Irvin. She was out on bond. I became somewhat friends with her. I was kind of rooting for her. But she was the girlfriend of one of the main defendants, Gregory Shell, a.k.a. Shorty G.